Good morning, Trinity. Today is the last day of our prayer and fasting focus, and today we are concentrating on deepening our vision. What we mean by vision is an understanding of what God is doing and how we fit into that. Jesus said that he was doing what he saw the Father doing, and he wants us to do the same. He wants us to know our calling and to have the confidence that God will provide what we need in order to carry out what he's putting on our hearts. Suppose that you met a billionaire and he said to you, I want you to buy some properties and hire some people with your own money and then I'll pay you back. Would you do it? Well, that depends. If he called you out of the blue and said that, you wouldn't know him, you wouldn't know if you could trust him, and you probably wouldn't do what he suggested. But maybe it's somebody who you know. Well, again, you have to pretend with me. Imagine that you knew this person and you had lots of conversations with him, and he said, look, here's what I'm doing and I want you to be part of it, and this is what I need you to do, and I need you to spend some of your own money to get this started, and then I'll pay you back. Would you believe him? Probably. You see, God is just like that billionaire. He has a plan. He wants you to be involved in it. And if you know him well enough, then you will be comfortable and confident in doing the things he asked you to do. But if you don't know him very well, you'll say, well, that sounds like a really interesting idea, but thanks, but no thanks. And suppose you do take up the challenge of the billionaire. You will need to stay focused on what he tells you to do. You'll need to keep the vision at the center of your mind so that you don't lose your motivation and your focus. And that's exactly what Proverbs 29 verse 18 tells us about. If the people don't have a vision, they will lose their focus. The other passage is from Judges, and it's the story of Gideon. Isn't it an interesting story? This young man, and God goes to him and he says, well, who am I? I'm nobody. I think you got the wrong person. And God persists and says, no, you're the one I want. And as Gideon develops a stronger and stronger relationship with God, you can read about that story and about all the things that God accomplished through Gideon. Imagine if Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't have a strong relationship with God. Would they have been able to do what God called them to do? Would they have had the confidence to say, you know what, God can save us from this fiery furnace, Nebuchadnezzar, but you know what? Even if he doesn't, we still have this vision. We're going to follow God. And, if God doesn't do the thing that we would prefer, we're okay with that. Or Daniel. God gave him a vision for a whole nation. He understood from the prophecy that had been written that his nation was to be set free. And so he prayed 3 times a day in order that would happen. And it cost him. He ended up in a lion's den. He didn't know how that was going to end, but God knew. Daniel developed trust in God over time, and because of his deepening relationship with God, he was able to grab a hold of the vision that God had for him. And so I pray for you today that as you spend time before the Lord, that you will grow in your understanding of God's calling for you, that you'll grow in your relationship with God, so that when he calls you to do things, you will have that relationship from which to step into the things that he calls you to do. Oh, and we hope you'll join us later this morning by Zoom or in person at the church from 10 till 12. Come for whatever part of that you're able. Blessings on you.